Breaking news. Primate Ayodele drops bombshell, sends strong warnings to Shettima. Guys, let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Now, Primate Elijah Ayodele, who is the founder of the INRI Church worldwide, has issued a stern warning to Nigeria's Vice President Shettima and the Vice President of other African countries. And in a recent 18 seconds video clip shared on his X, Ayodele had urged these leaders to seek divine intervention to avert impending dangers to their lives. And I must say, Primate Ayodele has made a stern warning. In fact, this is a grave prediction, and he's still repeating himself that the African leaders need to pray against death. The African leaders, the African vice presidents, African prime ministers should pray carefully against resignation or death. Either of them will happen to any of them, and also they should run to seek the face of God. This message has really caused a stir, prompting discussions about the potential threats facing some high-ranking officials in Africa. And let's not forget that in June, Malawi had mourned their vice president's death that happened in an unfortunate plane crash. Yes. And Malawi, they are still mourning the death of their vice president. This is coming in the wake of Primate Ayodele's prediction and prophecies regarding African leaders and their vice president. You see, Saltus Chilima, who was expected to have contested, the next year's presidential election, was the leader of the United Transformation Party, that is an alliance partner of the president's party. But then, his unfortunate sudden death had already destabilized the presidency by stirring differences among political parties. And it was said that Chilima, who had been traveling to the northern city of Mzuzu along with 9 others to attend the burial of a former cabinet minister, their plane was reportedly missing, which prompted into a search, and the wreckage was later discovered days after in a mountainous forest in the north of the country, and they were killed in this crash. So guys, this is a huge tragedy, I must say. This involves an African vice president, Chilima, and 9 others were actually killed in this plane crash. Not only him, the vice president of Malawi, and also 9 persons, including a former first lady, was also affected in this unfortunate incident. There were no survivors. This is coming in the wake of Primate Ayodele's warnings and predictions. Primate Ayodele has been giving series of warnings, especially as it relates to African leaders and their vice presidents and their prime ministers, that they should be very careful, they should draw closer to God. And Primate Ayodele's prophetic warnings has been drawing a lot of reactions from a lot of people, and this latest declaration is no exception to what we are seeing, in fact to what has already happened. And Ayodele did not stop at the vice president and prime ministers. He also extended his call to action to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other vice presidents and other African presidents and their vice, urging them to take immediate spiritual measures. They should go on their knees and pray to avert any pending danger. You see, Primate Ayodele's message underscores a sense of urgency and a need for spiritual vigilance among Africa's potential leadership. His call for prayers and divine intervention highlights the perceived, severity of threats that is looming around them. And I must say, this is quite interesting because a lot has really happened, ever since Primate Ayodele has been giving this kind of warnings. And he noted that the Vice President Shettima is a key figure in our Nigeria's political space. But though Kasim Shettima has not responded to Ayodele's warnings concerning his possible death or resignation. And in the timing of this warning, it comes as we've been facing a lot of political turbulence and security concerns in various parts of Africa. Leaders across the continent are facing numerous challenges, including political instability, economic difficulties, and security threats. And yes, Primate Ayodele's call for prayers and interventions, highlight all these things happening. And Kasim Shettima, the vice president, along with other African leaders mentioned, are yet to respond to these prophetic concerns by Primate Ayodele. And now Primate Ayodele is known for making bold predictions. He is well known for making prophecies, and his latest prophecies add to his history of issuing, cautionary statements to political figures. Whether these leaders will heed his advice and quickly seek spiritual intervention, it's yet to be seen. But the impact of his words is already being felt in some certain places, like the plane crash that took the life of the Malawi's Vice President Klaus Chilima and 9 other persons. I mean, this can also be in relation to what Primate Ayodele has been, shouting about, professing and predicting that this is what will happen to some African presidents and their vice, and especially President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kasim Shettima should be very, very careful. So all these, can be seen as a coincidence, because how can Primate Ayodele's prediction comes as the people of Malawi are still mourning their, vice president that he died in an unfortunate military aircraft crash. And it was said that they were flying in a very bad weather condition. According to the aviation authorities in the country, they had to scout, in fact, it took them few days before they could be able to locate that plane, according to news reporters. And the president and the people of Malawi had already, they are still mourning the loss of their vice president. So I hope some other African presidents and their vice, and also the Nigerian president and Kasim Shettima, would heed to these words of Primate Ayodele. You see, Primate Ayodele is like a national prophet. He tends to see things as it relates to the political areas in our country, even out of the country. And now he has predicted incoming death or resignation for Kasim Shettima. It's quite terrifying, So guys, I'm dropping here. What are your thoughts on this? Kindly share in the comment section. Thank you.